What's going on, guys? Nick here, back with another question. This one says, I hate the gym. I used to go to the gym 3 times a week consistently for 2 years. It's pretty good, man. Last year, I had an injury and couldn't go to the gym for 7 months. Ever since I got that injury, I am no longer interested in the gym. It's not like, oh, I'm lazy to go. It's more of, I actually hate going. How do I fix this? Because my body is getting worse. This is tough. If anybody has trained more than 3 years, and you pushed yourself, you have likely experienced some type of injury along the way. It doesn't have to be serious, but some type of nagging pain along the way is actually pretty normal, just from pushing your body. But I want to take this further than the gym, because no matter what you do in your life, you're going to experience some type of obstacle and something that's going to give you a major setback. So this guy was very consistent. He says 3 times a week consistently for 2 years. That is a lot better than probably the majority of the world. So props to him for doing this. But it seems like whenever he was in this role, he wasn't anticipating anything happening. So this is the biggest problem that happens to a lot of people is, as a society, if we get tripped up on something, we tend to marinate on it and not forget it. We have a hard time moving on, holding grudges, or just giving up altogether. Number one, he says, how do I fix this? Because my body is getting worse. You're going to get what you tolerate. So the reason why your body is getting worse is because you have tolerated this feeling of, I just don't like going to the gym. It's part of it, man. If you are trying to be fit and just be a better person in general, be more well-rounded, healthy, all those things, you're going to have to accept that you're going to have to do some things that you don't want to do, because we always seek comfort. Just show up. Just show up to the gym and walk. You don't have to do anything crazy. Set a timer, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Doesn't have to be that long, but set the routine. Show up and do what you say you're going to do, because that alone is going to give you momentum. And momentum is key when it comes to recreating this habit, especially if he's had an injury where he's probably got some negative thoughts about, oh, if I do this particular exercise again, then I'll get hurt. So building confidence by, number one, just showing up and walking, doing something. Number two, there is a concept in strength training called progressive overload. And you have to do that same thing if you're going to get fitter. So for the first few weeks, show up and just walk. But eventually your body's going to get used to that. You're going to plateau. He may lose a few pounds, but he's going to need to lift some weights. So number two, set a very, very simple weight training regimen. I'm talking like a leg movement, an upper body push, and an upper body pull. So a squat, a bench, and a bent over row. In your next workout, you can do a deadlift, an overhead press, and a pull up or a modification for a pull up. But make it very, very simple. 3 sets of 5 to 10 for the next month. Try to add weight or intensity every time that you go in the gym. Does not have to be complicated. Make it more complicated down the road when you start to plateau on this. But when you're trying to get back into something, you've got to realize that the gym is very representative of what happens in everyday life. You're going to experience challenges. You're going to experience obstacles, and these things will knock you off the path. They will force you to give up if you let them. So a big part of this is just developing mental resiliency. If you just show up, you're already doing more than most people. But if you can show up and you can do it like this guy did originally, consistently for 2 years, you are just making this mental resiliency muscle as strong as possible, because most people can't do something long at all. So for this guy, I would say you got to look at this as something bigger than just the gym. This is a direct correlation of how your life works. Practice it with the gym. It's a practicing field that you can go out and anticipate things getting in your way, obstacles coming up, and then being able to be strong in everyday life if something does try to knock you down. So for this guy, make it simple, man. Just make it simple. Develop the habit, 20, 30 minutes, call it good, and then start to increase over the next few weeks. I promise you'll get back into it, but you're going to have to do some things that you don't want to do if you want to go where you haven't been. Remember, you get what you tolerate. So this guy, he's talking about how his body's getting worse. Well, he's tolerated that for a long time, and now it seems like it's coming to a head. So that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you have any questions, you want to drop a comment, throw it in. I'd love to start a conversation. Talk to you guys soon.